the Planning Commission, my colleague, UNFPA representative in Pakistan, most distinguished, most esteemed, and most respected guests, colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored, truly humble, and absolutely delighted to join you today for the commemoration of World Population Day 2021. The day is observed each year since over 3 decades with the aim of increasing awareness on various population issues such as the importance of family planning, gender equality, poverty, maternal and newborn health, and human rights. The global population reached 7 billion mark in 2011, and today it stands around 7.7 billion and expected to grow to around 8.5 billion in 2030. This dramatic growth has been driven largely by increasing life expectancy accompanied with major changes in fertility rates, increasing urbanization, and accelerating migration. These trends will have extensive implications for the future due to affecting economic development, employment opportunities, income distribution, poverty levels, and social protection. Efforts to ensure universal access to healthcare, education, housing, sanitation, water, food and energy also will be largely affected due to this. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme for World Population Day this year is Right and Choices are the Answer. This theme is much more relevant now as the world is facing the COVID-19 pandemic that has compromised healthcare systems, particularly in the areas of sexual and reproductive health. COVID-19 has also exposed and aggravated the existing weaknesses of healthcare systems in low-income countries facing protracted challenges of governance, financing, inequity, and accountability. At this point, I would like to mention, as already mentioned by my colleague, the response by the government of Pakistan to COVID-19 is very comprehensive and unified. I think we need to applaud the response by the government of Pakistan. The Director General WHO has highlighted 7 countries after the first wave which have responded extremely well to COVID-19 pandemic, and Pakistan was top in the list. So we must appreciate that. Distinguished colleagues, we should bear in mind that population density in urban areas, household size, and the aging population contribute to more vulnerability to pandemics like COVID-19. Pakistan is now the 5th largest population in the world, and with the current trends, the population will close to almost double by 2015, which is really a concern. What is even more alarming is that the urbanization in Pakistan is growing at an annual rate of 3%, which is the highest growth rate in South Asia. The United Nations Population Division estimates that by 2025, nearly half of the country's population will live in urban areas. Looming in the associated crisis of unemployment, as already we are aware, illiteracy, poverty, food and water scarcity, and many more. WHO deeply appreciates the initiatives of the government of Pakistan in solving this problem, such as providing every child equal opportunity of getting an education until high school, creating universal health coverage with a focus on sexual and reproductive health. This is another point I would like to highlight. The recent development in Pakistan when it comes to universal health coverage, the formulation of USC benefit package using DCP3 tool is another amazing example. I think Pakistan is writing history in this. This is the first country came out with the universal health coverage benefit package using DCP3 tool, and government and the highest level political commitment is there to implement this to ensure universal health coverage, which ensure the access to healthcare services in time to come. WHO really appreciate all these initiatives by the government, and it is very important to highlight that we need to focus on standardizing the in-service and pre-service training packages on family planning, where WHO is much working on this with the government, strengthening knowledge and skills of healthcare providers on these issues, advocating promotion of sexual and reproductive health and rights, integrating key sexual and reproductive health interventions in the USC benefit package, as I said, is an integrated service delivery at the primary health care level, which is the way forward, supporting its implementation in current 12 priority districts, which WHO has much involved